robust urban garlic flavor.
So our local 220 is at it again. Let's see what Phil has to say on this week of the Locale Philip Burnell Show.
Character, or is this a gimmick? If so, your detractors are idiots for saying you beg if they don't see the character you're putting on. Do you not understand that? Listen, okay, here's the deal. Let's be real here, all right? Obviously, you know me. You've seen me in those last 8+ months. Actually, at this point, it's been so August, September, October, November, December, January, February, 7 months. Now we're going on month 8, where things have changed for me. Okay, can we be honest? I'm getting way more positivity thrown my way, except for my detractors. Okay, people are enjoying my content and supporting it more. Why? Because they liked the stuff I did with Kino Casino last summer, and they supported that, and I took all that support I got and I completely revamped everything I do from the ground up, right?
For whatever reason, he's just fixated on his interactions with Kino Casino because he considers them his friends, even though they're using him completely. And he has to tell himself that this was this big, huge, natural, organic increase in interest in him. And it was just a meme. Like, it was just a joke to them. Like, all those people that were throwing him money in August and September, they thought he was a joke, like we do. Like most of the internet does. It's like the guy who jerked off on May 1st. That's what he's known for. But Phil has to hang on to this and hold on to this. Like, oh, I'm still popular. I'm still relevant. I'm still somebody that can entertain you. And he has to tell everybody that he's changed because this has been his gimmick for the past 5 years. Ever since he came back to YouTube, he was like, oh, I've changed. Like, if you've changed, you don't have to tell us that you've changed. Like in 2023, he was just doing string lights of all things. Like that's his definition of change. It's like he's putting on a nice shirt and he's like, "Oh, my content has changed so much now."
Right? Look at my setup. Look at the quality of everything I'm doing. Look at the effort that I'm still putting in. I could have just stopped putting in effort months ago.
Dude, these were improvements that you should have made 15 years ago. Are you kidding me? You were just so behind the 8 ball. This is not something that's riveting or exciting. Like, this is something you should have done years ago, and you're just doing it now because you were prodded to. This is not some kind of monumental achievement. Like, you want an award for going to the bathroom, essentially. This is just the cost of doing business, and for whatever reason, you turn into an RGB dwarf. I don't understand it at all. Like, you don't need all those lights. Your fans don't care about the lights. Like, ooh, shiny lights. Like, yeah, Phil, you're not a children's entertainer. You're just a dumb entertainer.
But I'm still putting in effort to improve my content constantly for you, to try to do new kinds of content, different things.
So, are you telling us that for years you made no effort into your live streams? That's what it sounds like. And it's like, why the hell would you want to support somebody who said that for years I put no effort into anything I ever did? You're making yourself look really dumb, Phil. Really dumb.
Fun stuff to make it interesting. I don't want it to be boring around here anymore. I was boring for 10 years, right? I don't want to be boring anymore. I want to be fun. I want to do different things.
All right, here's the thing. If you've been boring for 10 plus years, it's time to throw in the towel. Are you kidding me? Like, you're done. Do not go past go. Do not collect $200. Go directly to jail. You're done. It's like Boogie's 6-year arc. Like, pay me money. I suck at this. No, Phil. You don't deserve their audience if you constantly not even try. You can't be like, oh, I sucked for 10 years. Now I'm here for a repeat. No, you're done. Get off the internet. Really. If that's really how you think, you should just quit now.
And I think what's happened is people are now seeing that, okay? And they want to support it now. They get it. And they're like, okay, I see the effort. Phil has changed. We want him to stay on that path. So let's support that, right?
No, you're just a freaking idiot. Like, you are supported by whales. The only reason you got money is because whatever decided to tell their fans, hey, throw this guy a bunch of money. That's the only reason you were not deemed more popular. People were just dumb enough to throw money. They're called Kino dents. You're not on an upswing. You're still a joke. You're actually worse off than you've probably ever been. The whales are just hiding it.
Does anyone think I'm destitute? Do any of you out there feel that I'm like broke as I'm sitting here in a relatively brand new sweater, you know, in a setup that's pretty much completely new? Everything you see here is brand new in the last 6 to 8 months. You know, my quality is great. You know what I'm saying? Like, with all this stuff, do you see anything here that says, wow, Phil is living in a cardboard box?
And yet, day in and day out, you still beg constantly. You're just shoving it in your audience's face like, hey, I got money because I beg. And he doesn't get, like, just because you put fancy new lights in does not change the fact that you are a toxic e-beggar. All you do is e-beg. Like, are you freaking kidding me? You're a joke. Changing your setup and buying a new sweater does not change the fact that you are a joke. Having two garbage content creators that bottom feed help you out does not mean that you've changed. It just means that you got lucky. And you're still really lucky because you have people that buy into the big gnosis and support you day in and day out, like like how Irish Sakai supported that girl.
And he's going to go broke if you don't contribute. The difference is now people support me because they like what I'm doing and they want to see me continue to succeed and improve because I've proven that I can do that.
No, Phil, you've proven absolutely nothing. The only thing you've proven is that you're conceited and narcissistic.
As opposed to previously, I was on here telling you a sob story. Oh my God, I'm in bankruptcy. I can't pay my mortgage. I can't do this. And that's not the case anymore.
Oh, that is absolutely still the case. I see it all the time on Twitter. You just bitch and moan every time you don't hit a goal. Are you freaking kidding me? What kind of idiot buys this nonsense? It's nonsense. You're still as much of an e-beggar then as you are now.
Get it? It's not. It's better now. All right, we're in a better situation. So people like to see the success and they want to see more success. They like me, they like my content, they like what I stand for, and they want to see that continue.
Yeah, that Iron Chef Sakai guy sure loved your content, so much so that he went on somebody else's stream and started bad-mouthing you because you're such a freaking joke. Are you kidding me? People donate to you because they think you are a joke, not because they like you playing video games. They like you begging and they're laughing at you, not with you.
So when I'm on here and I'm like, let's hit the goal, let's do a marathon, let's do a reward, let's do DSP tries it. Yes, that's motivational.
No, it's not. It just makes you look stupid.
And sometimes people need that. Like they say, literally the adage, ask and you shall receive, works.
Yep, we're on about like 18 years of e-begging right now.
Because some people may be sitting here watching and enjoying and then not even think about contributing because they think that everything looks good, right?
Hence why Phil has to tell you 100 times to tip, and if you don't hit the goal, he will bitch about it for the next 8 weeks.
But you have to understand that it's through that reciprocation of me making the free content that you enjoy and you supporting it that it's all possible. If it all dried up and there was no support, I wouldn't be able to keep making the content. So it goes hand in hand, right? And so I'm very appreciative of those who do support. But when I'm sitting here and I'm like, Moses parted the Red Sea and you need to get the salty water off the pizza. Do you think that's serious? Does it sound serious?
No, you just heard it from Kino Casino and you thought it sounded cool, so now you took it and you just look like a dope.
But the problem is my detractors are so stunted that either they think it's serious because they're dumb, or they're people who are disingenuous. They know it's not serious, but they'll say it is because they want to fool the dumb people into thinking I'm a bad person so they can make content and profit off of it.
No, he's dead serious. He wants you to contribute. Contributions are mandatory or he will bitch about it endlessly.
Because again, as I said many, many times, these idiots would not be making the content they do if they didn't profit off of it. Notice they're all monetized now. There used to actually be a time when the content was demonetized. And people like the Sons of Kojima were very morally against monetization of this kind of content because they were standing for, we want Phil to be a better person and a better creator, rather than, oh, we just want to profit off of making fun of Phil. Well, that's not the case anymore. Things have very, very much changed. Now it's all about the money. How do I make a buck? How do I run? You know what I'm saying? So it's really ridiculous. But I mean, obviously, this is not, no, I'm not destitute. I don't actually need you guys to buy me pizza. Do you understand? It's that's not what we're doing. You know what I mean? It's not what we're doing here.
Dude, if you want to go after clip streams, just go after them. Stop whining and moaning. Like, hey, you would never make a clip of you being a complete dumbass because you have too much of an ego. So get over it or do something about it.
Well, again, you have to be intelligent to understand that. You have to understand some hype and, understand how it works.
Yeah, this is another rhetorical technique Phil does. Anybody who disagrees with me is an idiot. That's it.
Again, anyone who has watched Kino Casino for more than 10 minutes and then comes to my content and has the balls to say that I ask too hard, I beg too much, and I do all that, you're out of your fucking mind. Those guys are the consummate professional pros at asking for contributions in a way that hypes their crowd up and then they receive them. But they joke constantly. Look how PPP talks on Smart Guys. Do you think that he's super serious about any of that shit that he's saying? Of course not.
Hey, dum-dum. Even if somebody else is doing something that is illegal or dubious doesn't mean that it's okay for you to do it. Like, just because somebody else is robbing a bank doesn't mean it's okay for you to rob a bank. Are you kidding me? Like, for years, this has been the thing with you. People don't care what keto does. They care what you do. You've been begging nonstop for over a decade. Are you kidding me? Like, now it's like, oh, I'm just joking. That doesn't make it okay. All you do is whine. Like, I see it. You ask for contributions like 200 times a stream. And Keto Casino knows that. That's why they set you up with that interview with that Steve guy. You're a joke. You're not serious. You're a beggar.
But he says, and he gets people excited and people laugh and then they contribute. That's what you got to do. It's called about positive motivation versus negative begging. If I say, I'm going to give you something positive if you contribute, like I'm going to do a special event, I'm going to do a DSP tries it that you control, we're going to do a marathon that you guys give me input on, right? I'm going to get something new. I'm going to do Lego nights. I'm going to buy better Legos, right? Do you see? That's positive motivation.
Oh boy, Phil is going to eat Arby's right in front of us. What a great idea. Why not?
Versus if I'm sitting here all day saying, oh, woe is me, things are bad for me, support me because things are awful.
And this is what he does 99 out of 100 times. And he's like, oh, I have to pretend I don't do this, but I totally do this.
I do now that I'm out of that situation, and I'm not doing that anymore because I don't have to.
This is exactly like when Moist Critical called him an e-beggar, and he's like, oh, I gotta watch my e-begging. And he just keeps begging. He's just nonstop begging, begging, begging. He's a begging machine. Because he needs to do that because otherwise people won't pay him. They feed off the begging. They like the begging. They don't like him playing fighting games or any kind of game. If he stopped playing video games, just did begging for 5 hours, he'd make the same, if not more money than he would right now. It seems counterintuitive, but yeah, like people don't care about his video games. He's got like twice as many people watching on Raw Phil than on his actual channel because he bans everybody. People want to see the spectacle of the joke that is DSP. They don't want to see him play games. Him playing games is the most boring stuff on YouTube. They want to see him whine and bitch and moan and complain and rage. Because he thinks he's entitled to your money and he thinks that you should write him a blank check right now.
I see how pathetic that is, how bad that is, how disingenuous that can be. Okay?
Yeah, and he's still being a disingenuous dipshit. To this day, he will never, ever stop.
But I was in a bad situation many years ago, and that's why I had to act like that.
There you go. Phil takes no responsibility for scamming his audience and playing a gotcha mobile game and spending thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on a stupid gotcha mobile game. He is a scammer. He is a liar. He lies so much, he thinks he tells the truth. This is what this jerk has to do to sleep at night because he has just been a joke for the last 15 years and he can't get over that. He's a joke. And people are sending him money only because he's a joke, not because they find his content positive and meaningful. The only people who do are Darich and Jade. Only Ice Coffee doesn't even donate to Phil because he likes Phil's content. He just wants the approval of being a massive whale. That's it. Phil, you're a joke, you're a liar, you're a scammer. Get off YouTube. Or you can stay and we can roast the hell out of you for like the next 5 years.
Now I don't have to do that anymore, nor do I ever want to return to doing that. So,
Yeah, Phil is a professional gaslighter. He's telling you that he's not begging anymore. Okay, Phil. Thanks for stopping by.
you see, that's the difference. So, here's the deal. If you get the shtick, you come, you enjoy the content, and you support it. And that's why I'm successful, because there are enough people out there who are intelligent and get the shtick and like the content.
No, they absolutely see through your bullshit and are just tipping you because they think you're a fucking joke. Iron Shift Sakai proved it. The only reason he wailed down on you is because there's something in his head, I don't know. But also because Phil is such an idiot. He's entertaining. I'm going to throw him money because it's fun. I mean, personally, I wouldn't give him money because I know someone else will. And I'm like, I could just spend $5 on something I'd actually want, like, food. Like, Phil is just a freaking joke. It's like it all goes down the drain eventually.
Sadly, there's a bunch of morons who don't know anything because they're dumb as dirt. Like, literally, they're not as smart as the rock rolling down the hill. They're that stupid. So they believe everything. They're gullible morons.
So if you've gotten this far and you're a global moron like Phil says, I think it's time for you to subscribe. Because, hey, you're obviously enjoying this.
And they get fooled by these idiots who make negative content. They don't look into anything. They don't research anything. They just believe everything they're told.
Yeah, look how I'm trying to manipulate all of you. Here's a clip of Phil being a jackass and me saying Phil's a jackass.
And they're marks, meaning they're easy marks. They're dumb enough that they will throw money at idiots because they think that they're doing something good and they're exposing something. You're exposing nothing. There's nothing to expose.
Okie dokie then, Captain May first.
But they don't get that because they're that dumb. They actually feel like they're part of a good movement. They're just a bunch of morons.
There is no movement. We're just laughing our asses off at your stupidity. All right. And now it's time to say goodbye to you all. I hope you had fun tonight.